Hi everyone, my name is Mbali and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're going to be speaking all things psychology, especially with regards to what's going on in the world, what's going on in our country. So if you guys would like to hear a bit more about that, then stay tuned, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. And if you have subscribed, thank you so much. I really do appreciate your support, and don't forget to leave your comments down below if you found this helpful, if there's anything else you'd like for me to speak about, and also don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. So until then, stay blessed to be a blessing. So guys, COVID-19 is here. It is within, it is entered, it has changed a lot of things in our world externally, but not only externally, it has changed a lot of things in our world internally. So a lot of things have changed in our country, in South Africa. We are in a period of lockdown, meaning that we are restricted, or our movement is restricted, and we are advised or almost forced to stay home. And for many of us, that has changed our lives. We're not going to work, we're not participating in activities that we generally participate in. We're not going to social gatherings, we're not attending religious gatherings, going to church or anything of that sort. And obviously that has a huge impact on a person's life, because it has changed the way in which they would go their day-to-day functioning, and that requires a lot of adjustment. So what I'm going to be speaking about is how we can take care of ourselves during this period of adjustment, how we can better manage ourselves in this period of adjustment, because we can't do much. All right, we can't do, there's a lot of things that we can't do that we used to do, but then we will have to learn to kind of adjust and find other ways that we're able to be happy or be fulfilled in the spaces that we are in. The arrival of COVID-19 in South Africa has caused a lot of panic, and panic that we do see in the media, for example, panic buying, but there's also panic that we do not see in some individuals, and this will manifest itself in the form of anxiety. So briefly explained, anxiety is a response to perceived fear. So perceived fear being something in the future that is going to happen, that you are scared of, that you may fear. So for example, if you're going to be writing a test and you know the subject is difficult, then obviously you will get anxious and you will show anxiety related symptoms. When we do experience these feelings of anxiety, this anxious feeling, then our body automatically goes into the fight or flight mode, and we generally go into survival mode. So for example, the people who are panic buying, they are functioning on survival mode. So anxiety may be good in some instances because it forces us or it pushes us to actually perform, but in some instances it may not be so good, especially if we aren't able to manage it, or especially if it leads us to behaving in specific ways, such as panic buying, or such as for example, not taking care of ourselves during this time of social distancing, during this lockdown period. So what's very important during this period, especially when we are feeling these anxious feelings around this COVID-19, is to take care of ourselves. Self-care is very important, and self-care comes in many ways. People understand self-care in different ways. The way in which I understand self-care may not be the same as the way in which you understand self-care. And yes, self-care does include taking a bath, brushing your teeth, you know, taking care of your hair and so on, personal hygiene, but it also goes beyond that. It also goes beyond it also includes things such as taking care of your emotional well-being, listening to your thoughts, listening to your feelings, listening to your body, and also responding to that within the confined space in which you have been put in. So what does it mean to take care of yourself, or in what ways can you take care of yourself during this lockdown period? The first and the most important one that to me is having a structure, having a fixed routine. routine. So you have just come from a space where you had a fixed routine, you had structure, where you woke up at this time, you went to gym at this time, you went to work at this time, you had lunch at this time, you had a meeting at this time, but now you don't have that. So we have to take that and adjust it to what's going on right now during this lockdown period. So for example, you could write down, you know, the things in which you actually need to do during that day. You wake up at this time, you eat at this time, you do this at this time. If you've got work to do, work related work, you do that. If you have meetings to attend, you do that as well. Have lunch at this time, and so on and so forth. So having a list of the things that you need to do throughout the day, and as you go throughout your day, you're ticking off those things off that list. And basically that at the end of the day, when you look at your list, you get a sense of fulfillment, saying that at least, you know, I've achieved something today, I've done something today, I was productive today. But also just be careful and take note that if you don't complete everything on that list, that doesn't mean that you haven't been productive. It shouldn't leave you feeling upset or feeling that you have not done anything, that you have not achieved anything during that day. So some days are better than others, other days are better than others. So also just take note of that. But it's good to have a routine, it's good to have a schedule, it's good to have a structure, just to tell yourself or to motivate yourself to look forward to something on that day, or for that day, or for that week, or for that weekend, whatever the case may be. Another self-care tip or procedure that you can engage in is drawing boundaries. So drawing boundaries is very, very important, not only during this lockdown period, but in your life in general. So whenever I think about boundaries, I think about walls, I think about fences, I think about a dead end, and that's what they are. You know, they prevent you from getting to the other side, or they prevent the one person or the other party from getting to the other side. So drawing boundaries during this lockdown period means limiting the amount of news that you actually take in, limiting the amount of social media messages that you look at, that you believe, that you know, limiting the amount of COVID-19 discussions that you engage in. It's okay to say to somebody that, listen, right now I am not in a good space to speak about COVID-19. Can we please speak about it another time, or can we not speak about it? You know, it's okay to say to somebody, if they want to come visit you, for example, which should not be happening, that, you know what, right now I do not feel comfortable in you actually coming over because of what's going on around. Could we please make another appointment, or could you rather not come? You know, it's okay to say all of those things. It's you drawing those boundaries because you are feeling anxious, you know, you are feeling distressed about the situation. So you need to put up things, you need to put up boundaries for yourself to actually calm down that stress and to calm down that anxiety. Drawing boundaries could also relate to, or could also mean you limiting the amount of social media or information or news that you actually take in. It's good to stay informed, you know, don't get me wrong with regards to that, but then stay informed and take in the information that you need to protect yourself, to protect your family, to maintain good health. And don't take in everything that is sent to you. There's a lot of information that's going around on social media. Some of it is true, yes, some of it is not true. So it is very important for you to be very careful in the amount of information or news that you actually take in, because that can actually lead to you being anxious and also being distressed, which is something that we do not need. And another self-care tip that you can engage in is staying connected. So staying this lockdown period does not mean that you should not communicate with anyone, and drawing boundaries does not mean that you should not communicate with anyone. It's important for you to stay connected with those close individuals, to communicate your concerns, your anxiety, your distress to close friends, to close family members that understand you and could actually contain you and give you that relief that you need. Staying connected in any other form aside from, you know, having personal contact is very important, and it could leave you feeling much better at the end of the day. I don't know if you felt whenever you speak to somebody who really does care about you, who has a general positive regard for you, you feel so much lighter. You know, it's like a load has been lifted off your shoulders. Even if it is for that moment, it's still okay. It's still something. So make sure that you do stay connected during this isolation period. You know, it doesn't mean that you should isolate yourself, you know, in every sense of the word. Another form of self-care is to relax. You know, this period, it seems like everyone is developing hobbies. They are you know, achieving new goals, starting a business, writing this, writing that. That's fine, you know, that's okay. But if you do not get to that point where you have achieved something great, you know, where you have completed your business plan, where you have you know, started writing your book, that is okay. It's important for you to actually relax and take some time to yourself. And you know, relaxation comes in many forms for different individuals. You know, some people relax through meditation or through devotion. They relax through sitting in nature or sitting outside or sitting in the sun. Some of them relax through, you know, listening to music. Some people relax through prayer, and so the list is endless. Find a way in which you can relax and use that on a daily basis. You know, have that part of your routine, part of your structure. You know, maybe saying that at 2 o'clock I will be relaxing, I will be sitting outside, I'll be reading a book, I'll be writing in my journal. This will kind of keep you grounded, and it will maintain the connection to yourself. So yeah, finding good time to relax and also just to be with yourself. So those are the 4 self-care tips on how to reduce anxiety, reduce distress during this very, very confusing period. And once again, do not forget that it's very important to take care of your physical health. You know, keeping your immune system high, eating properly, taking the proper vitamins, but also your emotional well-being, your mental well-being is just as important. So do not forget to take care of that as well. And also just take it easy on yourself. It is a very confusing, very difficult period for everyone, and you know, the best thing in which you can do for yourself is just to be kind to yourself. So that's the end of my video. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.